Hello, dear friends. I still remember vividly some years ago I was invited to address an international conference in a different part of the world. And as I arrived there, I met many of the participants, fellow speakers, and others. And when my day and turn came, I gave my talk. And of course, one of the points that I made, not perhaps the most important one, was one that impressed some of the hearers. I said, make yourself a hospitality center. Wow! Most people had never heard that. They perhaps knew what hospitality entails, what it needs to be done, but they could not think of themselves as such center of hospitality. Well, that happened at the time that a fellow speaker, whom I came to know only at that conference, was about to publish his very first book on a topic related to chaplaincy, which can be carried on by lay people rather than the mere professionals. And he said, "Oh, I enjoyed so much what you said, especially such and such phrase that you used. And I would like, if possible, for you to write an endorsement that I want to put on the cover of my book, if you promise to use that same phrase." So it was no problem for me. I did that. He was very pleased. And it is still on the cover of many volumes that have been sold and others perhaps yet to be sold. And that's an important thing for all of us to consider. Many people know what hospitality is. Many others know some of the things that it entails, and they feel very fearful because they think that it takes far too much, far beyond their capabilities of doing the right job. But do you know something? Hospitality is much easier than you realize. You don't have to go out of your way and buy expensive food and set up the table for an elegant meal. People prefer the simplicity that any home can equally offer. What they are after is the fellowship and the conviviality with those that are extending that favor to them. I am glad that I grew up in a home where, since my childhood days, I observed how it is done and how effective it can be. My home was always visited by people from all over the world. Many Christian workers from different nations that happened to be through the city where I resided as a child. And they would have our hospitality extended to them. Many times it entailed more than an overnight stay. Other times it might be for a meal, or maybe just for an English tea at the appropriate time in the afternoon. And I am so enriched by the things that I have learned, not only about hospitality, but for what I was able to observe and to hear as interactions occurred between our guests and my parents. You can do the same, because people are simply interested in this very thing, in feeling at home. It is not the amount of what is offered to them, but the spirit in which it is carried out for the benefit of whoever happens to be visiting us. And we live at a time when so many people long for this kind of thing, especially when our society has become somewhat impersonal. We find more cell phones going to work all the time with messages that can be meaningful, but which lack the personal touch that hospitality can bring. So, my friend, my challenge to you, and it continues to be a challenge to me that I have been fulfilling for quite some time, is be a hospitality center. Let your own heart open its doors for the sake of others that want the fellowship that you can so easily provide and the affection that you can demonstrate toward people that you know as well as strangers, but who are worthy equally of our goodwill. Until the next time, and I hope you'll do it and you'll see how good it is. Bye bye.